In this video, we are going to talk about the US system of measurement, also known as the imperial system or the customary system. There's a few different names for it, but it's different than the metric system because it's not based on powers of 10. Each unit is related to each other using different factors. And so it's important that you know the conversion rates in order to do the conversions that you want to do versus the metric system, where as long as you know that scale, you can kind of go up and down several of the different units within the metric system. With the US system, you have to know specific conversions. And so here's some conversions that we're going to work with. We have some length conversions, where 1 mile is 5,280 feet, 1 yard is 3 feet, 1 foot is 12 inches. And then we have mass. We have 1 ton is 2,000 pounds, 1 pound is 16 ounces. And then we have some capacity ones. Now, some of these are approximated or rounded for ease of the math, but we're going to use the following conversions. 1 quart is 2 pints, 1 pint is 2 cups, 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces, which is different than regular ounces. So be careful, if it's got the FL in front, that's fluid ounces. So 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces, 1 fluid ounce is 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons, and 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So again, just a couple of abbreviations to go over here. MI is mile, FT is feet or foot, YD is yard, and IN is inches. LB, or sometimes you'll see it as LBS, is pounds, is ounces, and then we have QT is a quart, PT is a pint, capital C is cup, FLOZ is fluid ounce, TBSP is tablespoon, TSP is teaspoon, and GAL is gallon. So we're going to look at how to use these conversions to convert several different things. Now there's 2 different methods that you can use for these conversions. You can use proportions. So if you're comfortable with proportions, then you can definitely use proportions and the proportion setup to solve each of these. But there is a way that I like to use it using rates. And so I'm going to continue the video on using rates, but again, you're welcome to use proportions to solve these as well. So for example, in this chart, we need to fill out the rest of the chart here. We have 42 yards. We're going to need to go between yards, feet, and inches. So let's look at our conversions up here. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 feet is 12 inches. So let's write those out. So 1 yard equals 3 feet. And 1 foot is 12 inches. So when I do these conversions, what I like to do is always start with what I have been given. So in A here, I've been given 42 yards. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to multiply by the conversion rate. And each of these conversion rates can be written in 2 ways. So for example, here I'm going to use the yard to feet conversion. This can either be written as 1 yard over 3 feet, or it can be written as 3 feet over 1 yard. And I'm going to choose the one that is going to help cancel my units. And what I mean by that is we want 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So we can think of this 42 yards as almost like a 42 over 1. And so the yard is on the top. So I'm going to choose the conversion that has the yard on the bottom so that those conversions cancel out. And so I'm going to choose 3 feet over 1 yard. And that allows the yards to cancel, and I'm left with the unit feet, which is what I'm trying to convert to. Okay. This tells me whether I'm going to multiply my numbers or divide my numbers. So here I have 42 yards times 3 feet over 1 yard, or in my calculator, I can just do 42 times 3. I get 126 feet. So in each of these conversions, we're either going to end up multiplying the numbers or dividing the numbers. Some people are gifted with the ability to be able to look at the conversion and they just know, oh, I need to multiply, I need to divide. And if you're one of those lucky people, then congratulations. I'm not one of those lucky people. I'm a visual, I need to see it written down. And so by seeing it written out like this and seeing which conversion I'm going to use, that will tell me whether I'm going to multiply or divide. If the number's on the top like this, I multiply. If the 3 was on the bottom, I'd have to divide my numbers. So again, there's a few ways you can use proportions, you can use this rate, or if you're one of those few that can just look at the conversion and know, you're welcome to use that method. Logically as well, we know that 1 yard is 3 feet. So when I go from yard to feet, the number is going to get bigger because I've gone from 1 to 3. So in order to get bigger, I'm going to multiply. Okay, so let's try another one. I want to go to inches. So let's take our 126 feet and we want to go to inches. So I'm going to multiply that by the feet to inches conversion. And since I have feet written there, I want the feet to go on the bottom. So I'm going to write it as 12 inches over 1 foot. And because my 12's on the top, that tells me I'm going to do 126 times 12. So I get 1,512 inches. Okay. So I want you to try B there. You're given 48 feet, and I want you to write it in yards and in inches. Pause the video and then start it up again when you're ready. Okay, so let's take a look at B. So I have 48 feet, and I want to get to yards. So I'm looking at my yard to feet conversion. I have feet written there, so I want to write it so the feet is on the bottom. And because my number's on the bottom, I know in my calculator I'm going to do 48 divided by 3. It gives me 16 yards. And then if I want to go from my feet to inches, I'm going to again put my feet on the bottom. And this time the 12 is on the top, so I'm going to times by 12. And I get 576 inches. Okay, let's look at our second chart here. We have quarts, pints, and cups. So let's look at our conversions we had. So we've got 1 quart is 2 pints. And we have 1 pint is 2 cups. Okay, so I want you to try both A and B here to fill out the rest of this chart. Pause the video and then start it up again when you're ready. Okay, so for A, we have 28 quarts. I want to go to pints, so I'm going to multiply. I'm going to put my quarts on the bottom, my pints on top. So I'm going to do 28 times 2, which is 56. pints. And then to get to cups, I'm going to put my pint on the bottom, my cups on top, and do 56 times 2 is 112 cups. For B, I have 74 cups. I want to go to pints, so I'm going to put my cups on the bottom and my pint on top. So I'm going to do 74, and in this case I'm dividing by 2 to get 37 pints. We're always choosing the conversion so that these cancel out, right? So I have my pint, pint, quarts, quarts, and I'm left with whatever unit is on the top, which is the one I'm trying to get to. And so finally I want to get to quarts, so I can get 37 pints. I'm going to put pints on the bottom. So I'm left with quarts, and this tells me I need to divide. And I get 18.5 quarts. Okay, let's look at some word problems. So a hospital bed frame requires 13.5 yards of steel cut into 9 pieces. Calculate the length of each piece in feet. So you can always do the conversion first. If you want, you know the answer needs to be in feet, so you can convert to feet first, or you can do the calculation and then convert to feet at the end. It doesn't matter, you'll get the same answer as long as you don't round until the very, very end. So I'm going to do the calculation first. So I have 13.5 yards. I'm cutting it into 9 pieces, so I'm dividing by 9. And I get 1.5 yards per piece. And it wants my answer in feet. So I have to go from yards to feet. And we know 1 yard is 3 feet. So I'm going to write my conversion so that my yard's on the bottom. So I'm going to do 1.5 times 3, which is 4.5 feet. So each one is 4.5 feet. Okay, you try question 4. Pause the video and then start it up again when you're ready. Okay, a water jug contained 18 quarts of spring water. If 25 pints of water was used from the jug, how many pints of water remain in the jug? So in this one, I have to do the conversion first because I can't subtract numbers that have different units here. I can't subtract the pints from the quarts because they're not the same value of measurement. And so I'm going to need to put my quarts into pints. So I have 18 quarts. We know that 1 quart is 2 pints. So I'm going to multiply it by my conversion rate. I'm putting 1 quart on the bottom. So I get 18 times 2, or 36 pints all together in the jug. Now I can subtract my 25 because they're the same unit of measurement. And I get 11 pints left. Okay, so you're going to give yourself a rating here, thumbs down if you're having trouble solving problems using the US system of measurement, finger pointed if you need some more practice, and thumbs up if you think I've got this, I don't need any more help or practice.